this committee should have a conversation and a hearing about anti-Semitism. But I would first insist that the chairman, I don't know why he put this tweet up. Either he believes it, which I hope is not the case, or he just wanted to own the libs. And if that's what you're doing, you're hurting a lot of people by keeping that tweet up for so long, especially knowing what it represents. And if we're talking about being your online accountability partner, Chairman, you still have a subpoena in your inbox that's about 500 days old.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of What Was That? I'm Gabe Sanchez. Eric Swalwell rarely passes up the chance to fight it out with Jim I've never reported a sex crime in my life, Jordan. And that's exactly what happened during a committee hearing.
Good, he deserves it.
Jim Jordan just can't catch a break lately. First, it was his desperate and embarrassing three-peat loss to become House Speaker.
Another bad day for Jim Jordan as he continues his strategy of the beatings will continue until morale improves.
And then voters from his own state of Ohio approved 2 ballot referendums, the first enshrining a constitutional right to abortion. Essentially, the women of America went to the ballot box and gave Jim Jordan and the GOP a resounding
"fuck you."
And the second referendum legalized recreational marijuana use.
Smoke weed every day.
At this point, you might think that people would feel bad for Jordan and maybe take it easy on the little guy. But in all seriousness, Jim Jordan deserves everything shitty that comes to him. The guy literally covered up sexual abuse. So during a hearing focused on a rise in anti-Semitism on college campuses amid the Israel-Hamas war, Eric Swalwell made sure to call out Jim Jordan's hypocrisy.
And last October, the chairman tweeted out on October 6th, Kanye, Elon, Trump. Those 5 statements that I just read to you were from Kanye West, who had made a number of anti-Semitic statements before this tweet was put up, and then made the DEFCON statement about a day after the tweet was put up. I, the chairman at the time, Chairman Nadler, many people in the Jewish community asked the chairman, Chairman Jordan, to take this down. And it wasn't just members of Congress. It was nonpartisan Jewish organizations who said, Kanye West is anti-Semitic. I don't know what you're doing, but please do not give him a platform by leaving this tweet up. It stayed up for months. Defiantly, the chairman kept this tweet up. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to be just today your accountability partner, your online accountability partner, and just go through your social media.
No, Swalwell did not just make fun of Jim Jordan and Speaker Mike Johnson at the same time with an accountability partner joke. For people who don't know, fascistic zealot Speaker Mike Johnson and his 17-year-old son are each other's accountability partners when it comes to monitoring their porn habits. They use a right-wing extremist anti-porn app called Covenant Eyes.
My accountability partner right now is Jack, my son, right? And so he's 17. So he and I get a report of all the things that are on our phones or all of our devices once a week. If anything objectionable comes up, your accountability partner gets an immediate notice. I'm proud to tell you my son he's got a clean slate, all right? Yeah. But we get a report and it says, hey, no activity of concern, and it's really sensitive. It'll pick up almost anything. It looks for keywords, search terms, and also images, and it will send your accountability partner a blurred picture of the image.
Dude, what the fuck? If you've got a porn addiction, issues with self-control, and you need someone to monitor you, maybe talk to your wife, Kelly, not your teenage son. Who knows? Maybe Jim Jordan would also benefit from using Covenant Eyes, you know, on account of him covering up sexual abuse. For a while now, Swalwell has been on a campaign to let everyone know exactly who Jim Jordan is. Here's Swalwell catching Jordan in a lie about that pro-Kanye tweet back in December 2022.
Do you denounce your tweet praising Kanye West?
That tweet was not our account, and that tweet's been removed.
It was from their official account, and Jim Jordan runs it. And even if it wasn't from their account, how would Jim Jordan know it was deleted?
Suspicious.
That tweet stayed up for nearly 2 months before it was deleted, which means Republicans were totally cool with Kanye's anti-Semitic meltdown. Well, that was until Kanye went onto InfoWars with white supremacist Nick Fuentes and professed his love for Hitler and the Nazis.
That one didn't age quite so well.
And it was only after Kanye's anti-Semitic interview on InfoWars did Jordan try to quietly delete the tweet, hoping that people wouldn't notice. But as we all know,
the internet is forever.
And ever since, Swalwell has been reminding everyone about Jordan's anti-Semitism every chance he gets, like back in February.
Madam Speaker, when I heard that we're going to remove a member of this House from their committee for anti-Semitism, I raced down here because I thought, finally, in this chamber, there's going to be some accountability from this conference that continues to allow its members to root for rioters, to show sympathy for the insurrection, a conference that harbors a wanted international criminal and has members who choose violence over voting every single day, finally. And so I thought, we're going to hold someone accountable for anti-Semitism. Surely it's the author of this tweet. Kanye, Elon, Trump, October 6th, written by Chairman Jim Jordan. October 8th, what does Kanye say? I'm going to declare DEFCON 3 on the Jews. So surely this tweet came down, right? Came down, was deleted. No, 2 more months it was kept up. 2 more months.
And then in March, Swalwell reminded everyone how Jordan, a proud member of the Just Comply and Law and Order Party, had not complied with a subpoena from the January 6th committee.
I think it's quite rich that we are talking about subpoena compliance under a chairman of the full committee who was absolutely out of subpoena compliance in the last Congress. So we're going to haul witnesses in here today and claim that they did not comply with subpoenas or requests. And that request is so rich because it's coming from a chairman who himself did not comply with the January 6th committee's request. So May 31, you see a letter sent to then Representative Jordan asking that he honor his subpoena. He was asked over and over and over, you were a witness to a crime. You were a witness to the greatest crime ever committed with the most criminals ever indicted in America. Will you help your country? Will you comply with that subpoena? No compliance, crickets, absolute defiance of the subpoena. And because of that defiance, the chairman was referred, and it's still pending, to the House Ethics Committee. And why? Well, it's because he took an oath. And I want to have the congressional oath put up there, but the congressional oath mandates that members of Congress defend the Constitution without any mental reservation, or as it says on the slide, purpose of evasion. Not responding to a congressional subpoena is a direct purpose of evasion. So this is our chairman, hauling all us here, everyone here today, people at the Department of Justice, the Department of Education, who are doing important work to claim they are out of compliance when he himself is currently out of compliance.
And then again at the end of March.
He's a witness being asked to do his patriotic duty and respond to a subpoena 321 days later, refuses. Also, since the last hearing of this committee to obstruct justice, Chairman Jordan is now interfering in an independent criminal prosecution. There's an investigation in Manhattan, also in Atlanta, also at the Department of Justice, into the former president. And Jim Jordan has sent a letter to the independently elected District Attorney Alvin Bragg of Manhattan. He is asking Alvin Bragg to commit a felony. Why is he asking Alvin Bragg to commit a felony? To help Donald Trump. Why is it a felony? Because if Alvin Bragg were to turn over what Jim Jordan is asking, Alvin Bragg would be violating New York law that says you cannot turn over grand jury proceedings. But that's what they're asking him to do. Again, the law doesn't matter if your client is Donald Trump.
At this point, you'd think that Jim Jordan would just get tired of being ridiculed by Eric Swalwell and just go hide under his bed. But then again, Jordan is an idiot. And speaking of bed, I want to thank today's sponsor, Miracle Made. Winter is here. And for me, that means struggling to find the right temperature when I sleep. I recently found a way to stay at the perfect temperature all night long using silver-infused bed sheets by Miracle Made that were inspired by NASA. Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get a better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and feel as nice if not nicer than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Miracle sheets are the perfect gift for your spouse, friends, or family. I mean, who doesn't want better sleep and luxurious feeling bed sheets? And since these come with 3 free towels, you get 2 gifts in one, just in time for the holidays. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe to try it today, or gift it to someone special this holiday season. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Save over 40%. And if you use our promo Gabe at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you are aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Gabe to treat yourself, a friend, or a loved one this holiday season. And then in July, when FBI Director Christopher Wray was in front of the committee, Swalwell informed us that Jordan had been evading his subpoena for 400 days.
Director, I think it's quite rich that the guy that has accused you of lawlessness and weaponization is 400 days into violation of his own congressional subpoena over January 6th. Quite rich to me that you're hearing all of these allegations from somebody who won't even respond to a lawful subpoena.
And then in September, Swalwell slammed Jordan again, while also trolling him with a subpoena evasion clock that read nearly 500 days.
Mr. Attorney General, my colleague just said that you should be held in contempt of Congress, and that is quite rich, because the guy who's leaving the hearing room right now, Mr. Jordan, is about 500 days into evading his subpoena. About 500 days. So if we're going to talk about contempt of Congress, let's get real. I mean, are you serious that Jim Jordan, a witness to one of the greatest crimes ever committed in America, a crime where more prosecutions have occurred than any crime committed in America, refuses to help his country, and we're going to get lectured about subpoena compliance and contempt of Congress? Jim Jordan won't even honor a lawful subpoena? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's no credibility on that side. Mr. Attorney General, you are serious, they are not. You are decent, they are not. You are fair, they are not. So I welcome you to the law firm of Insurrection LLP, where they work every single day on behalf of one client, Donald Trump. And they do that at the expense of millions of Americans who need the government to stay open, who want their kids safe in their schools, and would like to see Ukraine stay in the fight so that we don't help Russia. That's the expense that this nonsense, this clown show, I'd call it a clown show, except they actually have real responsibilities that affect real Americans.
This whole thing about Jim Jordan evading his subpoena is incredibly important to remember because he was a significant player in the GOP's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results.
Jim Jordan knew more about what Donald Trump had planned for January 6th than any other member of the House of Representatives. And if the Republicans decide that Jim Jordan should be the Speaker of the House, there will, and by the way, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll lose. But if they were to decide that, there would no longer be any possible way to argue that a group of elected Republicans could be counted on to defend the Constitution.
You know, for a guy who said he had nothing to hide, Jordan sure acts very suspicious, almost like he is guilty and has everything to hide. I applaud Eric Swalwell for repeatedly mocking and trolling Jim Jordan during hearings while also educating the public about who he really is, the incompetent, hypocritical, and anti-Semitic congressman who hasn't passed a bill in 16 years. So as we head into the 2024 election, Democrats should be doing more of this every chance they get, making ads from these moments and exposing Republicans for the bumbling idiots that they really are. Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. And if you liked today's episode and want more What Was That? Well, you're in luck. You can join the What Was That Patreon and pick your tier to unlock exclusive content and perks not available to the public. Think of it like having backstage access to my show. You can subscribe for all of that at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?